Economics sounds abstract until you notice it is really about choices, trade-offs, and decisions you make every day. This video, based on a section from Chapter 1 of Invisible Hand, Visible Profit by Dr. Kruti, shows how economics is less about formulas and more about a disciplined way of thinking. We will walk through a few core habits that help explain behavior, sharpen judgment, and make business choices clearer. A useful starting point in economics is the idea that people are rational. Here, rational does not mean perfect, cold, or mistake-free. It means people make choices using the information they have at that moment, while pursuing what they believe serves them best. That matters in business, because it makes behavior more predictable. Higher wages attract more applicants, lower prices attract more buyers, and added costs reduce the behavior being penalized. What may look irrational afterward may still have been the best available choice at the time. One of the most practical habits in economics is marginal thinking. Instead of asking whether something is generally good or bad, the better question is whether one more unit is worth its cost. Let's think about simple business examples. It is not useful to ask whether salespeople matter, because the question is not about the relevance of sales for a business. However, when you ask whether one more salesperson will bring in more revenue than their full cost, the choice for hiring them is much clearer. The same applies to running an extra production shift, where the decision depends on the extra revenue compared with the extra cost of that shift, not the overall costs of production. It is a simple shift, but it leads to faster and cleaner decisions. Let us take an example of buying a gift for a life partner. You might spend money, time, thought, or even pay someone else to handle it. Every decision you make carries not only the cost of what you choose, but the cost of what you give up. And what you give up is called your opportunity cost. If you have time to spare, your opportunity cost is low. If you are short on time or forethought, you might be more willing to pay someone else to make that purchase. Neither option is wrong, but it does indicate what costs and benefits you are considering while making that decision. In business, using working capital to expand a warehouse also means not using it to pay down debt, launch marketing, or buy equipment. That foregone alternative is a real cost, even if it never appears on a balance sheet. And that is what you really need to consider in decision-making. The phrase, ceteris paribus, may sound academic, but the idea is very practical. It means holding all else constant so you can understand the effect of one shift or one variable at a time. In real business life, many things move together, which makes it tempting to tell a simple story about why revenue rose or margins fell. This habit pushes you to slow down and ask what actually changed, and whether other factors move too. Without that discipline, it becomes much harder to repeat success or fix a problem. When you take the time to measure what is changing and identifying the root cause of either the failure or success, you form a sustainable process of decision-making, instead of doing it as an impulse. Prices are not just labels, they act as signals that tell both buyers and producers what is happening in the market. A rising price suggests stronger demand relative to supply, which tells producers to make more and consumers to consider buying less, while a falling price suggests the opposite. For business leaders, this matters both where they sell their products and where they buy inputs like labor, materials, and capital. It is very important to remember that a market leader may move prices and influence the market, but a smaller player cannot assume that simply cutting price will bring more customers to its specific product. Thus, the next time you are tempted to slash or increase your prices, first ask yourself, how much of an influence do you truly have in the market? Will the new price actually move your revenue needle? Taken together, these ideas form a practical way to think, not just a theory to admire. People respond to incentives. Good decisions happen at the margin. Every choice includes something given up, and prices are the loudest market signal you can get. The broader message is that economics helps you see what is driving behavior, what one more unit means, and what hidden cost sits behind a decision. That is why economics feels close to home. It gives structure to choices we were already making, often without naming them. Liked this video? Then you'll love the book. Get your copy of Invisible Hand, Visible Profit, The Simple Science Behind Smart Decisions, as an ebook, paperback, or audiobook on Amazon, Apple Books, Google Play, Spotify, and other platforms.